the black sheep of the,
We wouldn't even want to start early. It wouldn't set us apart.
right.
That's right.
We got to eat cake first.
Right.
Perfect.
Okay, it is Tuesday, December 19th, 2023. This is the Eureka Springs Parks and Recreation Commission regular December monthly meeting. 6:06 p.m. We're at the, what's this called, basement of the auditorium. We have to do roll call. Start with you, Jonathan.
Jonathan Tigan, Mark Ingram.
Ruth Goodwin Hager.
Rod Gray.
Sam Dudley.
And we know that Carissa Litherland is not yet here, but on her way. So we do have a quorum without her if the chair votes. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So
Ms.
moved.
Rod,
I'll second.
Mark, in discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Chair votes aye. Motion passes 4-0. Agenda is approved. Any public comments? Nope. Chairperson's comments? I will not make any comments other than happy holidays, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'll go straight to the director's report. Sam, what have you got?
Ruth is so modest. I would just, I knew you weren't going to say anything, but I wanted to say something.
Okay.
Because this is your last meeting as the chair. Thank you so much for always, Ruth has been on the commission for how many years?
We figured it out, but I forgot. Many.
A lot of you.
A lot.
And the chair position is added stress.
Yes.
so
But it's been worth it. It's
Thank
fun.
you for always being here.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been good.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
You're not going anywhere, though.
Not going anywhere.
Okay.
My term doesn't expire yet, so I'll still be on the commission. I just won't be chair next year.
Yeah, so just FYI, we will do voting on the new positions on the January meeting. I was
Right.
unsure if it was this meeting or the next one, but I think
January.
we'll do the next one. So,
Yeah, you can't be chair for more than 2 years in a row now, so
yeah.
it's good.
So anyway, thank you for
You're
being
welcome.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yes.
My pleasure.
So the last month we've been doing a lot of holiday decorations as we always do this time of year. So, however, this year I really wanted to make a point of, as we did the decorating, to really focus on organizing our space down there. I'm tired. It's been a mess down there. So, however, I think we got it to a point where when we put our stuff back, it'll be neat and orderly, and we'll be able to really utilize that space in the downstairs apartment. Because
Okay.
it's to the point now where I feel like we can pretty much. We still need some sort of storage building down at Leatherwood, just so we can have all our stuff in one spot. You can eat your cake. Sorry,
I realize I don't want to.
No, you-
I want to wait.
But that building at Harmon is really, the basement area especially, will be really useful. And that's where we all convene anyway in the morning. So it's just convene, get your stuff, and then you go and do what you need to do. So that'll help us save money on the workshop at Leatherwood. So, yeah, anyway,
Bravo.
Christmas lights are out. Everything's good.
They look great.
After
Yeah.
New Year. Yeah, thank you.
They look
Yes,
really
those look
good.
great.
Yeah, and a
Y'all
really
worked hard.
shout out to Jeremy, because
Yeah.
I've seen
yeah.
him digging holes up.
Oh, me too. Yeah, Jeremy.
I've seen him doing it all. He's really put it in.
Yes.
Yeah, he and Noah have been our Christmas elves.
Christmas
this year.
elves.
Yeah, I saw them decorating the stairs, and it's like, oh my God, this is really nice.
Yeah. It's been good. We've done a few cool new things with the lights this year, so the only bad part about that is once you do something cool, you got to do it every year. So, anyway, yeah. So, and a big thanks to CAPC and Public Works and other local business owners and stuff like that for helping with the lights. I think the town looks better than it did last year for sure. So it looks fuller. As far as other stuff, we renovated Cabin 6. We put new laminate flooring in, and same as the stuff in the visitor center, so it's real nice looking. And in the bedrooms, that is, the rest of it's still tile. And then we painted the whole thing on the interior, so it looks really nice. Put new light fixtures in. Just trying to make the cabins spruce them up a little bit.
Nice.
So
Okay.
got that done. Looks really nice. We got the fencing with the bathroom at Harmon Park fixed up, and we're gonna try to make that bathroom area. So I know it's one of these. It's not a huge deal, but I just figure we're in the midst of redoing it, so we might as well just finish it off. So I'm gonna have a local artist come and kind of blend in the spray paint where the wood used to be, because that wood was starting to rot on the sides. So it's gonna look cool.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a cool building.
have faith.
I already mentioned all the organizing. Oh, we just today, well, I guess yesterday we started power washing, but today we busted out the paint sprayer. We started painting the outside of the bathhouse
Oh,
in Leatherwood, and it looks really good. I mean, just the stuff that we've done, it's like night and day. You know, it just looks so much cleaner. Slaughter Trail Guides had Slaughterama, their annual Slaughterama event at Lake Leatherwood Gravity Project. I think they brought in about 70 riders, which is great. And then other trail stuff, we opened up the old access road behind the dam.
yeah.
So it's kind of cool. You can like walk or bike, whatever you want to do down there. And there's really
That's
beautiful
very cool.
creek back there. And we made just a little makeshift creek crossing with some rocks that were available. So you can just stone step across, and then go back up the other side. So you can either cross the dam or you can go down and do that. And we're like a Frisbee throw away from 187. So we need to really find someone who's willing to let us use their property for an easement so we can have a
Access
parking
from
lot
that
for
side.
Holiday Island
Yeah.
people, residents of Holiday Island, to get to Lake Leatherwood.
Yeah.
It would cut 20, 25 minutes off the drive down there.
Well, trail connectivity
Yeah.
is what's going on in all of Northwest Arkansas. We don't want to be left behind in that. It's important for
Yeah.
everybody, locals, tourism, emergencies, everything.
I know a lot of Holiday Island people.
They
who
would love it.
They would visit Leatherwood 10 times more often if they had an access point down there. So the issue is just finding a place with parking and building a trail, but that really shouldn't be too big an issue. New trail brochure should be in soon. So hopefully by the end of the year we'll have those, the new trail maps. And then for next year, just FYI, we're just gonna hit the ground running next year. We got sheetrock coming in to do cabins 1 through 4, ceilings in 2, 3, 4, and then cabin 1 ceiling and then another room. We're gonna insulate because apparently none of those cabins have insulation in the ceiling. Which is like, let's just go ahead and do it now.
And while you're on
Um,
that subject,
say
why don't
what
we
you
make
do.
sure we do our workshop in January out at Leatherwood so we can see some of the cabins we talked about.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
the one
I
on
like
the
that.
23rd.
And it's probably not going to be full in January. I mean,
Oh no,
at least
yeah,
not all
it'll
of
be
them. So
slow.
that'd be a good time that we could go in and look at them and get a
That's a
feel
good
for
idea.
And we
what's
can
going
see how
on.
well the insulation or lack of
Right.
works if it's cold.
Yeah. I'll be cold regardless, but yeah, I mean, it'll help a little bit. What else? Oh, and then the exterior of cabin 1, we wanted to fix those rotten boards and paint it, and yeah, we're just gonna try to knock out all this stuff before March when it gets busy. So we got 2.5 months left.
Okay.
Should be good to go.
You're not worried about the cold weather?
I mean, painting.
The outside part?
Yeah, we have to find like a good list of inside stuff and outside stuff. That way, you just weather determine it. If it's
Okay.
45 or 50 degrees, you go outside and you paint. If it's cold and miserable,
You work
find
inside.
stuff. So
Yeah.
we're trying to just make a good mix of things that we can get done. Yeah, and so when we do that, hopefully we can justify a pretty meaningful price increase when the winter promotion thing's over. So March, we can up the prices.
Right.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
Has to be done.
yeah. And that's it.
That's it. Tell me again which cabin numbers. Are there any cabins that are completely untouched, completely still? What's the worst cabin right now?
A lot of them look pretty nice. It's just the ceilings in 2, 3, and 4,
2,
or
3, and
actually
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. But 2, 3, 4 are the ones, the standard cabins. It's just the ceilings look bad. They're kind of old and caving in, so we're just going to replace those. But the rest of it,
But they're all looking pretty good from all that you've done so far. Yeah, they're
yeah.
so.
I'd like to do some kitchen remodels on them too. They're pretty, I don't know. They need to be touched up, but yeah, we'll see how much time we have.
You have time to find out what people want in cabins and things like that too. Do a little
Yeah.
research, what people are looking for.
The kitchens are just sort of like, they only have one cupboard and then a couple cabinets. There's just not a lot of space to, I don't know, we could do something cool in there.
Okay. Any other questions? Oh, look,
Hey.
Carissa has fought the traffic and made it here by 6:17 p.m.
Hey.
Carissa Litherland is now with us. You want some cake?
Got a piece right here.
Oh, you do? How nice. Okay, Sam just finished his director's report. And we have committee reports. Mark, do you want to go first? Anything with finance?
Yeah, Beth Geltner and I, from the Finance Committee, we went down and met with Sam and Nikki a couple weeks ago in a really short amount of time. Beth worked with Nikki on QuickBooks, and like a lot of light bulbs happened, and it was really great. I mean, it was good for both of them, and we went over a few things. I think for next year we got a really good plan of how to handle the reimbursements for things and how to counter so our budgets actually come out exactly. They're not going to show $80,000 expenditure when we actually got reimbursed 40. It'll show $40,000 expenditure, and it'll show how that happens. So it'll look much nicer next year. And I was telling Sam, I think we should plan on every month having a budget report so that we're looking at that, and we're making sure that if we make any modifications throughout the year by motion, that we change the budget, and the next time we see one, it's reflecting whatever motion that we had done the month before. So
a good thing.
I think it's just a good idea to just stay on top of that. When we have such a little budget, we really have to stay on top of
Yeah.
what's happening with that. So, but it was a very productive meeting, and Beth really helped Nikki a lot. I was just like, yeah, that sounds good. You know? But she knows QuickBooks inside and out, thank goodness.
She did a good job because when Nikki came by, when I was signing some checks one day, he was just like a little kid. I'm so excited. I really understand all, not that he didn't before, but he said Beth did a good job of explaining things. He feels like he really has complete
Yeah.
understanding of where to go forward with this and how to make it more organized. And he was excited.
Like a master class.
Yeah, like a master class. He feels very, very, very competent in that QuickBooks thing now.
So that's
That's
all I
it.
have on that.
Okay. Any committee report stuff from you, Carissa? Have you had a chance? No, I know you just got here and eating cake. I'm sorry. That's the long-term planning.
So I've reached out to Kim to ask for a public meeting
Sorry.
in January.
January, okay.
Okay.
So we're talking about a public meeting in January to talk about,
The approval process and just formalize it.
I like that idea.
Yeah. So I think we need in our next workshop just to formally agree the criteria. When does it need to come to the commission versus when, budget amount, whatever the criteria is. So I think we've talked about it, but I don't think we've actually agreed on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I think we can make that an agenda item.
Okay. Is that all the committee reports? I think so. Old business, reroute of Overlook Trail. Sam?
I added it to the Dropbox folder today. Sorry, it was a little last minute, but essentially I just added in Steven's assessment of the trail, and he filed, whatever reports that, any endangered trees or species that we need to be concerned about, and so, essentially we got his blessing to do it. I mean, it's a little of a weird system, but we do respect Steven's, opinion and his expertise in that area, so it's nice to.
Is that
Have
going to
that.
be documented so people can see it?
Yes, it's in the Dropbox folder
Good.
on a PDF.
Okay, so we've
yeah.
got a written, this is what
It's
we've
yeah.
done the dirt for that
yeah,
particular.
yeah, everything's filled out and good. And that's for the one section where if you start from cabin 6, where the Beecham trailhead is, we'll just have Overlook start there. Because right now Overlook starts way down at Mulday Hollow. It's kind of confusing. I think we get more use and, become easier to navigate if it started there and then became a loop. So anyway,
It makes more sense.
Yeah, it's hard to explain in person, but I promise it's a good idea.
No, I think it totally makes sense, because otherwise you
No, it
start down there
does.
in Holiday Hollow and you end up, it doesn't,
It's weird.
So what,
Yeah.
what, is this something that we had to approve?
I mean, it would be a reroute. It's not a new trail. It's not a renaming of a trail, but it's a substantial reroute. So I don't know.
I think we should.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to.
it helps to have the commission's
Yeah.
endorsement of things like that, especially since it's changing a trail that people may not have known for a long time and know where it was.
But I think it goes back to that we do really need to understand when does the commission need to vote on things and when don't they try to.
There are things in the past that talk about length, physical length of reroutes,
Okay.
physical length of things, maintenance amounts by dollar amounts, by time spent. Some of them contradict each other. Some of them are old. And I've looked through, I think the last meeting we talked about this or so before. I looked back at old meeting minutes and remembering things. They change. I know, and it's amazing how we have not really ever, we have, not true, we have changed some things. We've talked about in our current commission, realizing that yes, we have to vote on a name change, we know that. But things that are maintenance of an existing trail or short things, we don't have to necessarily approve. He has to do maintenance for safety reasons, et cetera. But I think we could
Sounds
come
like
up
it's time for a review.
a review and a
just
current,
document that. Yeah,
updated
update
clear-cut
it.
rule.
Yeah. And I love that you do that you go back and you look at what's there and that you look up the previous agreements. So thank you.
It's nice to have them, all the things
Yeah.
to look up, so.
I also think if I'm sitting in Sam's shoes and we're rerouting a trail, I'd want the commissioners to vote on it.
I would
I'm just
too.
like,
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's another reroute that we're going to do on Overlook that I don't think you guys need to worry about because it's within X amount of feet of the current trail. We're just going to reroute it to where it's not so washed out. It won't even make a difference on the map. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so those are the
that
kind we don't really
That's
need to vote on.
maintenance things that
That's
we
a
don't need to
maintenance
worry
thing,
about.
But yeah, but
Right.
even that needs to be, like Krista said, I think it needs to be codified somehow that we,
So
This
we're
is-
clear. So we don't even have to look at each other and go, do we?
and you don't even have to ask us,
Right.
you would just tell us after it's done.
sort of by default, I'd say anything that's like, anything that would change the map. I feel like we
That's
should
a good way to
I
think
kind
about
of
it.
like
I
think
that.
so
I do too.
too.
That's good.
But I think we could probably, spend the next working session just coming up with our proposed criteria,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can discuss it in the formal meeting, the
That's
next
a good idea.
formal meeting.
Yeah.
Mm,
I think
that
it would be
agenda.
also really good before we have that workshop, rather than try to create that criteria at the workshop, let's sort of have what we think it should be and then mark it out and write new
Yeah.
things, so that we're not all trying to figure it out
Yeah.
on that day.
I think that's a good idea, and it'd be useful, Sam, as well, from your perspective, for you to say what you think.
Yeah.
That'd be
When you would want commission approval and for the commission to review and vote on it versus when you wouldn't.
You're right, that's the best
Yeah.
place to start, you're right. Let Sam produce the first, this
But I
is what I
think we
think we need. And then we could come to it with our own and compare, and we say that this agrees with Sam's or not, or we,
Yeah.
I like that
You
idea.
good with that?
I'm so good.
Okay,
so good.
good
So-
deal.
Add it to his list of things to do. Okay, so would we want to have a motion to approve the reroute of Overlook Trail?
I will make a motion to Sam's proposal of the reroute of Overlook Trail.
It's Mark, a second?
Second the
It's
motion.
Carissa, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. You have your approval.
And just to be specific about it, it's the section from the Red Gate of Beecham that goes along County Road 204.
Okay.
That's the one we're,
Jonathan has the NERP up. It is very comprehensive.
Yeah, I just went through it. It's 14 pages, and 6 of them are all questions about species and is it going to affect an endangered species, so forth and so on. 4 different zones, I think avian, trees. Arboreal, yeah. I don't remember them all. I got to scroll back to the top. But
it was, in
arboreal, avian, historic, and endangered species. And it's comprehensive, so
Yeah.
it's good.
Good.
in much like Stephen fashion, it's comprehensive.
Yeah, so between the NERP and then some more guidance from the commission of what would be the exact criteria of when to give permission, that's good.
should
I like
be
that.
good.
I forgot about that.
Hey, and just to put everyone's mind at ease too, when Jeff was cleaning up the new access road below the dam, I walked out there with him, and he was really good with the trees. I mean, he walked out with Steven a few times. I think it really helped him learn how to identify certain trees. So
Good.
he's getting really good at identifying the leatherwoods and ash trees and redbuds and dogwoods and that kind of stuff. So, and cedars are easy to identify.
They're everywhere.
Good to know. Cedars are bad. Okay. Oh, was that?
Yeah,
That's
we did.
done. That's done.
Yep.
New business. First thing is the 2024 budget. Should we get that out of the way? We all have paper copies. Carissa, did you get yours there?
Yep, and I looked at it in the
Before,
Dropbox.
Dropbox, me too. Sam, do you want to just start? Do you want us to ask questions, or do you want someone, are you ready to make a motion, anybody, or what's happening?
So just, I guess to start off, I set this up in a way, it was a little different than the way Scott had set up the 2023 budget, in the sense that I'm coming at it really conservative. Like, don't worry, I have other projects I'd like to do, but I figured I don't want to put them all in the budget right now until we kind of have a better idea of how much money we're bringing in for 2024. Because if we put it all in the budget now and then we don't get half of them done, it kind of looks bad.
Yeah.
So the plan is to kind of leave it pretty open. Plus, there's things like what happened this last year with the dam. Like, none of us really expected that. It just kind of, landed in our laps, and we took it and ran with it. But I think having a more conservative budget allows for more flexibility with spending. So
Yeah.
I'm leaving it pretty open.
And like Mark said, making a more organized effort to review it helps us to stay on top of it and talk about it throughout the year. I think we've always just,
And also it goes to something that Sam had said previously about we really need to focus on some of the maintenance, some of the basics before we go to a, capital, sort of massive improvements. Stabilize, and then we can think about what next. So,
What I like, and I think we last year we made the right decision of feel good about it, because we said, we're not saying, no, we're not going to do some of these things, but we're going to go through the year and we'll do it as we go. And we were able to do that, and we were able to accomplish a lot of things, but we were able to do it one at a time
Yeah.
when we were prepared to do it, and we knew what our budget looked like, and we knew what our income looked like. So our P&Ls kind of stated what we could do. Another thing that Sam and I have talked about is we really need to think a little more in depth about the restricted funds. So I'll just throw some numbers out. It's just random numbers, not the right numbers. But let's say there's $200,000 in the money market account for Leatherwood. That money cannot be used for anything but Leatherwood. So there's no real reason to hold on to that money when we need a building done, or that money has to be spent for that. So it needs to be looked at completely separate from all the other general fund money, because the other general fund money can be spent anywhere.
yeah.
But that money is very specific, and I think we really need to, this year, really look at what we have in reserve, what we use the term reserves, and really think about what big projects we want to do at Leatherwood. And there's no reason why we can't use some of that money to do that.
So that's a perfect entree. I finally sent you guys that link to the Arkansas matching.
it's a matching grant.
So that doubles whatever investment we have, because it's a matching fund.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's you know, there's sort of key dates. It closes at the end of August. It would be for the next year.
I think May
But
was the first one I saw
idea
that.
would be to get a plan of what do, you know, identify which park, because we
Right.
can't do everything, and then identify what we need. And if we did have matching funds, say we would felt comfortable putting 100,000, we would look at what could we do for 200,000.
Exactly.
It would address some of the issues that we know we have with the bathhouse,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that needs to be renovated.
Absolutely.
We-
And I
we
mean, it just kind of occurred to me the other day when we were talking about this, like, we really almost need to separate these budgets completely because of the restricted funds. But this is the first year that I know of that we have actually accounted for that very accurately. Like what we're spending at Leatherwood based on salaries and updates and maintenance and all the things that go there. And we're really keeping track of what's actually Leatherwood. And I think that that has helped a lot. And you can see it. It's evident at Leatherwood. I
Yeah.
mean, just the things that have happened out there this year.
Yeah.
So I think as the year goes on and we start looking at what needs to happen on I don't know, the workshop kind of thing or the bathhouse or whatever we want to put that money into as time goes on, we look at that in that
I-
reserve and we start going, okay, well, we can use it because we can't use it
I-
anywhere else.
Right.
Holding on to
Yeah.
it for everything else is
Doesn't help.
useless. It doesn't help. We
I'd
can't
like
use it.
to propose, if we're going to do that we spend the first quarter of next year maybe thinking about what would we do. Because I think there are key dates for this matching fund. The first one is the end of May. You have to have a visit from the parks. And then you have to have public comments by the end of June. So there's a whole public comments
Absolutely.
and input section.
Let's do it.
And then you do the application in August. So we kind of need to know, is it going to be Leatherwood? What are we going to try to do? Get them out to get their input and opinion. Open it for public comments. Submit the application. So I think we'd probably have a good shot. And yeah,
Yeah, I think of any park in Arkansas, or even Parks Department in Arkansas, based on budget, based on acreage, based on what our responsibilities are. If anybody would qualify, it has to be us. I can't imagine
When-
anybody else.
when Scott did call to just talk to them, and it was talking about the fund grant as well as the matching, they said, no, you're not going to qualify for the fund grant, but they highly, like really encouraged him to apply for the matching. So it was a very strong, so again, you might want to just reach out to them, you know, talk to them about, you know, Sam, what is it that they need, get
Yeah.
a bit more understanding, start to
Like
develop
a
a
legit-
relationship.
A legit bathroom shower area in the lower campground.
Yeah.
Like where you actually need a
Crazy.
shower and
Crazy
restrooms.
talks.
And the matching can be some of it in kind, right? Labor and, I thought
No.
I mean,
That's the bit
possibly, we don't know. It might be.
I think it might be
It often
actual
is.
funds, but this is part of the discussion.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Okay, cool. I like that.
But yeah, good stuff. So we've already reviewed the budget.
Yeah, we've reviewed this. I think most of us
Yeah.
are familiar with everything on here,
Yeah.
aren't we?
I love that it's conservative. I love that we're not padding any numbers here.
Yeah.
And that we leave ourselves some leeway for any kind of unexpected things that happen through the year.
I also like it that we're slowly increasing salaries.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
We wanna
Yes.
do that.
to me, that's important.
One of the big things too is the separation of the human resources and payroll. So 550 and 518.
Uh-huh.
So next year, our plan is to just write, we write the city.
Makes sense.
City pays us, and then we reimburse the city. So
Makes
we're just going to write
sense.
them 2 checks.
Right.
Okay.
Because before we've just been writing 1 check and then reimbursing each account, and it's been kind of confusing. So we're just going to write them 1 check from the Leatherwood account, 1 check from the general fund. Just be like, here you go.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And just so you know, with that, the payroll from the Leatherwood account is going to come from positions that are that are like very designated to Leatherwood. I mean, I know like the trails person goes out and works at Leatherwood, but what we're talking about is more like the park manager, the assistant park manager, the housekeeper, things that are very
Okay.
specific to Leatherwood. So I think we evened out the accounts this year by, accounting for all the hours out there, but if we keep going this rate, we're actually going to counterbalance it to where we're in the opposite problem where the Leatherwood account doesn't have any money and the general fund is racking up.
It'd be
So-
nice to see like the,
Oh, racking up might be a bit of a,
Yeah, that's a
let's
little
not get
much.
carried away, but yeah. Also, Sam, okay, maybe, this may be too soon, maybe you're gonna talk about it, but the payroll, do you have a discussion on the payroll or about?
just in terms of positions.
What does it include? I mean, it includes increases for,
Yeah, so, I've never done this before, so I don't know if we just approve the budget and that just includes like all the pay increases that are included on this budget, or if you need to
would.
like approve each and everything.
we wouldn't have to approve it individually, but
Yeah.
we would probably need to discuss like
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it,
for
what
sure.
it includes.
Yeah, technically,
Yeah.
you decide what they make, what they're paid by the Parks Department. The director does.
So
And then
the
we approve
director
it
is
overall.
y'all, you
Yeah.
decide how much I make and
Right.
so.
Okay, you
I mean,
answer to the director, then.
I'm not
here,
gonna put a-
The rest answer to you, you decide.
I'm not gonna put a raise in for myself, then
Well, yeah, but I want to talk about that too.
Okay.
I should, but no, I'm joking. So the clerk, want to get, I can say names here, right? Is that in a meeting? It's public information.
As long as, yeah,
It works
because
for-
these are city employees.
Yeah.
What they make for a living is public information.
Okay, okay,
Just don't give any other information about them.
yeah.
Not their social security numbers or anything
And
like
you
that.
can, generalize it to the point that I put in 10% across the board, or put in, you don't have to.
Well, yeah, and I kind of went through and, I think there's certain positions that need to be up to a little bit more than others. So, I went from 1760, I believe, to 19 for the clerk. Nikki's our longest standing employee. He's been here longer than I have, so, he's been pretty willing to learn new things, as Mark
Yeah.
and Beth found out.
He's gone through a lot
He's
of
great.
training and taken on a lot.
Will
Yes.
not, would not disagree with that at all.
So, I'd like to show that on paper for him. The groundskeeper, Noah, he's a beast. he gets stuff done. So I know he just started back in July and we already gave him one raise, but I'd like to just go ahead and give him another small bump up from 17 to 18 because he did that whole cabin 6 reno on his own, and yeah, he's very, very handy. So Jeremy's position was grounds manager, and I still wanted like an element of that in there, but I felt like that role is kind of, I don't know, it's a little misleading, so I switched his role to head gardener. I know Jeremy wants to do more gardening, and so he still kind of has that oversight of a lot of the grounds, but it's not like he needs to manage the mowing of the fields or anything. So that was kind of my idea there, was to switch his title from grounds manager to head gardener, even though, he's the only gardener we have, but I wanted to keep some kind of element of, if we do get a gardening assistant, he's clearly the
Yeah.
head of that.
I think with the gardener thing, it's one of those positions that has a lot of visibility in the community.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think it's
Really
really
does.
important to keep some longevity, have somebody here for a while, and season to season, have a chance to figure out what works, what doesn't. And so I'm really very supportive of that position being, built up to where somebody wants to stay and do this year after year instead of, seasonal and people popping in and popping out. And I think it would
And
be
Jeremy's useful in other ways too. He's great with carpentry, and
Yeah. Yeah.
he does the water testing for us now. And I feel like most people like me, but there's probably a few people who don't. But as with Jeremy, like everyone likes Jeremy.
right.
So, like you said, it's a very visible position. So I think it's important to have someone that the community knows and adores, to be frank.
It's true.
So Jeremy's great in that regard. So that would be a $21 to $22 pay raise for him. Juanita, the park manager, I feel like, I mean, this role has kind of morphed into something way more serious than it's ever been. And she's responsible for, if you look at the budget, it's $225,000 projected. I mean, we'll probably make more than that, but she's in charge of a $225,000 operation. And so if we're going to take that seriously, we need to up her pay and show that.
And she takes great ownership of it.
Oh, she loves it.
Yeah,
It's
so-
like she's so happy that she's where she is. So it's quite a big jump for her, but I wanted to take her from 19 to 22. I feel like she's a manager, so it's sort of like any of those management roles are going to be, I'd like for them to all be even, so there's not like, this person's making this much, and
Right.
so. LLCP assistant manager is a new position. Jessica, I don't know if y'all have met her or not, but she's been working with us since April, I believe, April or May, and she's been great. She's go-getter. She
Is
gets
the
stuff
one
done.
that was down, she's been like the shop attendant?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Marina.
She's very good.
Yeah, she's great with the customers. She's
Really
very
good.
responsible.
Yeah.
She's always on time, never any issues. She's trained in everything that Juanita knows how to do. So it's like, we need someone down there for when Juanita leaves, because that position is 7 days a week. We need someone to fill in for her when she's not there. So
Okay.
I was going to have Jess promoted to assistant manager, which would be a pay increase from 15 to 18, plus she'd be going from seasonal to full-time. So benefits,
Good.
and this would all start, January 1st, FYI. So, LC park attendant, that's pretty self-explanatory. That's just, seasonal help that we bring in to run the bait shop when it's busy. So, $15 an hour, it's pretty good pay for someone who's just looking for a summer job. Housekeeper, that's currently Lynn. Lynn's like, I'm a lucky guy. Lynn's great. I need to actually speak with her too. There's been a little confusion over whether or not she wants to go full-time or not. I've asked her before and she said no, so that's why she's budgeted part-time. But I did want to give her a pay raise from $16.50 to $18. Yeah, $16.50. And then, so that might be something we look into in March or something if she wants to move full-time. We'll have to vote on that. And then trails manager, that was my old position. Jeff is better at everything than I am as far as trails go, so I figured, that was budgeted for me last year, so I just keep it the same for him.
Don't we
Next
also
year.
have admin, Susan?
So, yes, this was a tough conversation, but I think I'm going to not extend the position. It's just, she's great. I'm like really thankful that I had her for this year, because obviously I was going into this position, but it's just a matter when you look at budgets and things that we need to get done, especially right now with so much deferred maintenance on our task list. I mean, it's X amount of dollars that could go towards something.
Well, I think you and I talked about the way the director's office works now, with the way things are more mainstreamed or not mainstreamed, or whatever,
Streamlined.
streamlined, thank you, that's what I was looking for, streamlined for what Nikki Jott does and the budgeting and how the reservation system, we get reports. The administrative work in that office isn't as great as it used to be. And to have it an administrative assistant plus Nikki,
Yeah.
Sam said he felt like, and he kind of gave me some examples and showed me how there wasn't really enough work for 2 full-time administrative people in there. Not that you have 2 full-time, but there just isn't the work for it.
Yeah.
And
what-
so extending Nikki's knowledge of what he's doing and then getting rid of that position is not so much getting rid of Susan, it's getting rid of that position.
Yeah.
Susan was
So
great.
What is the proposal for events like 4th of July? Because that was.
So, yeah, I would like, obviously that was the first year we did it, so it was sort of a lot of trial and error, mostly success, but
Yeah.
I mean, now that we've established it, we know kind of how it works. I mean, I would love to have her come back as contractor or something like that and help out with
Good.
it, but, you know, I
I-
think Juanita and I can probably, we'll see how it goes. Like, I told Susan that I might be calling her, you know, come end of May or early June to help with the organization of it, but
Okay.
I think we can handle it. Oh, there's a lot of like stuff that we've never done before, so we weren't sure how it was going to
Yeah.
work, but
Is Nikki going to take over the social media and the website updates and the
Probably not.
Facebooks and
Yeah, probably.
probably not. Okay.
you don't. It's like, you know, you don't use a knife to eat your cereal kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right tool for the job.
So who is going to do that then?
I mean, I'll probably end up doing quite a bit of it. Just,
Okay.
I mean, I got it on my phone and take
And
photos.
isn't Juanita
and-
doing a lot of
Some
it too?
that.
Juanita
and
does
Juanita's
too.
going
Okay,
to
so
take
it'll
over.
Yeah.
I think
split
that was
between the two.
pretty
Good.
much the main thing that Susan has been doing lately is that, which
Yeah.
is important, and she did a great job at it. But it's not enough to keep that position.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like you need that right now in that office. You need someone answering phones, the director, and
Yeah.
see how it goes.
Cool. Okay.
And then
thank
contract
you.
labor, you got plenty of room to
Yeah.
hire contract labor
Oh,
if you
and-
need it.
Yeah, so part of that contract labor too, for talking about positions, a lot of that is going to go towards a gardening assistant, which we already have. I don't know if I'm allowed because it's a contractor versus an employee.
Contractors, you can't tell them what time they have to be at work or when
I
they
mean,
have
like,
to
can I say
work.
names or anything? Or, I mean, she probably wouldn't care.
I wouldn't
but-
bother right now.
Okay. Anyway, we
Because
got someone
you're
who's
talking about a
great, who
position,
everyone
you're talking
knows.
about a
and-
situation. Sure,
she's
but you're
gonna-
still talking about positions and not necessarily the person themselves. It's just,
Yeah. So anyway, we'll have a gardening assistant who's going to be on contract labor status. So, and they know the gardens just as well as anyone. So,
because she's done a lot of volunteer work
Perfect.
in the past. And it makes sense because the garden work comes and goes and fluctuates. So
yeah,
when you say there's this job to do, as in these gardens need weeding, then she's contracted to do it. That's a contract
Yeah.
labor person. You don't tell them they're coming Monday through Friday and whatever. It just
which fortunately, I mean, I don't really have to tell her anything. 'Cause she already
Yeah,
knows what to
that's
do.
perfect.
So-
Yeah.
she knows more than I do. So yeah, there's that.
Okay, I like that. I also, I'll just bring it up. On the director's salary, you know, I remember last year when we were doing this thing, we just picked a number, whatever it was before, we didn't really look at it. And then I started seeing a bunch of advertisements for positions at the odd and everything, and like the third person down makes more than our director of parks, you know. And I feel like we should revisit that, at least do something to start increasing that salary. I mean, I don't think we should go to 100,000 like they do in the other, but we should definitely talk about increasing that to at least the level of
yeah, we should look at
Yeah,
it.
can we wait
and then,
auditorium employee.
well, we need to do an executive session maybe in January and have a discussion at our January
Yes.
meeting or something.
How about March? Because that'll be my 1 year.
One year,
mark.
or just 1 year. Also, when
I'd like to point out, I'm not asking for this.
Yeah, he is not asking, he wouldn't ask, but
but we
I
want
think we should do some research. Maybe I'll get with Jerry.
And
get sort of analysis of their levels of different levels of people and make sure that we're at least in the market for a director position.
And I think we can't emphasize enough that while salaries are a biggest part of our budget, they are also, we are dependent on the people, you know, that having the right people, having consistency, having, you know, that skilled staff will make all the difference.
Yeah.
If you look at stuff that was done this year, utilizing the resources that we have, not spending a ton of money, that is invaluable.
And that's
So
the only
our-
way we could do it with this number of people, is to get good people and pay them fairly.
Yes.
And make them stick
No,
around.
that
Pay
is-
them
it's the right thing to
fairly,
do.
yes.
And it's the right thing to do.
It is the
agreed.
right thing to do.
So that's sort of been my thing too. I think the best thing that we could do as a commission is create a staff and a salary level that lets people earn a living and want to work here as a career.
Yeah.
Want to be here, want to raise your kids here. We don't have to have more people. We need to have the right people doing the right job, and we do have that.
And we do. They have pride and ownership in their jobs and in the parks and in their, and that's,
Yeah.
that's
And we're not
nice.
paying them $100,000 a year, you know, that's not what's happening. But, you know, gosh, I don't know what they were when we started, but it was
It
pretty
was
low.
low.
It was
It was low.
pretty pitiful.
It was
So,
shockingly low.
and
And
if
we
you
wanna
look at
keep
the-
'em.
You look at the total numbers even here, you
not
still
enough.
wonder, you know, and that's including all the other benefits and stuff that go with it. So, yeah, we are definitely not getting
We're not
crazy
done.
with it.
Yeah.
You know, so-
No.
But we're starting to get there.
Yeah,
I
but,
think.
yeah.
We're
we-
starting
Yeah.
to.
We have fantastic people who want to be here.
I meant the pay,
Well,
not the
and-
people. We do have great people.
And getting away from so many part-time, seasonal, having more, we did it with the beginning of the year, did we? You have,
Small but mighty, baby. Small
Yeah.
but mighty.
nice.
So I
Well.
make a motion that we approve the budget as proposed.
I second.
That's Carissa, Jonathan, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. The budget for the 2024 year is passed.
Good job,
Congratulations.
Mr. Dudley.
Yeah, good
Heyo.
job, you did a good job, Sam.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks to Steven. He came in and helped me with Excel. So, thank you, Steven.
Thank you, Stephen,
There
for
are
everything
also
you do.
YouTube videos. that
Yeah,
are
and it turns out
amazing.
like when you use the desktop version versus the online version, it made a lot more sense. I was like, oh, there's all these things you can do on the desktop that I wasn't able to do on. I didn't know that. So, anyway,
Okay. What's next? The Kubota tractor sale, Sam?
I mean, we just approved the budget, and part of that was asset sales, which would be the Kubota tractor.
It's
So do
listed
we
as
need
the
to-
Kubota.
Yeah.
Do we need to?
I
Yeah,
think
we
we
shouldn't even
talked
talk about
about this previously, and it was just something that we thought should come to the commission,
did-
but
had you
because
mentioned
of
it?
the amount, I thought you'd
think
mentioned
we
it
did.
previously.
Yeah, and I
We
already
did.
got permission from City Council. Michael made a
Yeah.
resolution.
We told him,
and
we told him to go ask them about it, if it was okay, and he did.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Do we need to,
okay,
Motion.
okay. It's in the budget. I don't know. I mean,
Good, good,
I
good.
think that kind of covers it, but.
Okay. Long-term rental at Harmon Building.
Yeah,
It's
this is
exciting.
something, I don't know if we need to vote on it yet, but just in case the city doesn't want to turn it into office space for certain, positions with the
And
city.
you're referring to the building at Harmon that's to the right of the Harmon office?
Yeah,
The old,
yeah.
just for the record.
530, I think is the official address, Spring Street.
can I ask, because we've talked about archiving, doing digital archiving for the files that are in there to clear out the space, is that part of the proposal, or is that happening?
I mean, not really, but it could be. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be something separate.
Because Kyle had mentioned
We
that
haven't
he
really
knew
touched that room
someone
yet,
that
'cause
would
we-
do it for free as long as you
Okay.
make it public access.
Okay.
So I can't remember if it was University of no, it was the Museum of Fayetteville or University of Arkansas, somewhere in Fayetteville, that had a project that they would come and they would digitally archive in Arkansas for free. You just had to make it available to the public.
Well, we do anyway.
Yeah,
Huh?
which it is.
We do
available.
anyway.
Yeah.
Which we would have
Yeah.
to anyway.
But it
It's
just not digital.
and then you can get rid of
Right,
the hard copies. Yeah.
Okay.
Which would then just free up a ton of space.
Be nice.
Because I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to get rid of the files.
No,
but I
and
also
we haven't
would
even touched that particular
want to
room.
pay for
We're just like,
storage.
we're waiting on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's remember to go look it up later, but the rules for how long we have to keep these things and where we have to keep them and how accessible, do we know exactly what they are?
I think it's 7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I remember
some of
we-
it's history. you
Yeah,
know,
some of it's like
For
historical
historical
stuff you
purposes,
wanna
yes, I'd love to
Yeah.
archive it, but there are some things we used to vote to
like budgets and dry
Just
stuff
trash
that
it,
doesn't
yeah.
We
matter.
really do need to go through that and see what that is. And
Yeah.
Definitely get rid of what's budgets
But
and old
Yeah.
paper that,
Old paper that doesn't need to be there.
If somebody's going to archive it for you, would you just have them archive
yeah.
everything?
I'm sure if you can you do it for free.
Yeah.
Keep you from having to go through it.
Yeah, exactly.
But at some point, you're going to have to tell them how to, like they're going to have to, my mind just went blank on the word, but they're going to have to identify what it is to
AI. AI. That's how we do it.
oh, that's true.
So, Sam, do you mind asking Kyle if he could check into that?
I cannot ask Kyle
Do you mind?
because Kyle is
Kyle's gone.
he's still out. I think he's scheduled to come back, but he had some medical issues, so he's been out for months.
Yeah, he's been out for a long
So-
time.
I didn't know that.
It's been a little bit of a
There's some,
Aw.
there's someone I know that knows the archival people over at U of A, and I can't think who it is. Remind me later and I'll look,
okay.
think about it.
I mean, Jeff Dano seems like someone.
Oh,
who
yeah,
would
Jeff
know.
knows, and so does his wife. Mr. Louderback at school,
Okay.
he knows some things about some of the archival programs over there, I think. I might be making that up, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he does too. There's some resources we can ask if we can't ask Kyle.
Yeah.
Find out who to find out over there at U of A
Yeah.
for sure.
The thing
And-
that sold me on it was the free.
We
And
like,
I-
And they would do it.
Yeah.
like free.
Especially-
Yeah, so, and I think that's it. We'd love to have it done, but we just don't have the money or the resources to spend a ton of time on it. So we'd need somebody to come in and take it and own it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a
In fact, it's
lot.
Well, it's probably community service for the students,
like internship.
you know, yeah,
program.
internship.
be
Even
great.
then, yeah, it's a lot. You want somebody this is what they do. You could have an intern come in and it would take them forever, or you could have a professional come in and they do it in no time and do it right.
And then I think paper copies, you just have to hold on to them for 7 years, right? The 7 years applies
Certain
to
things,
paper
certain-
and
yeah, certain
which,
things.
you know, then I think we get Nikki in the pattern of like, okay, if it's 7 years, then when you go put the 2023 numbers in, you go to the 2015 numbers, the stuff that we don't care about, just like
Just
the,
get in the habit of
just
that.
shred them and hide the evidence. No, I'm joking.
So the current proposal is to take that building and rent it out, long-term
Yes, and so that's,
offices
we don't need to
or
vote on this
something
now, but I was
else.
just, you know, in case the city doesn't want to do it, do you guys all feel comfortable with that idea at
I thought we
least?
did already.
Yeah,
We did talk about this, talk about the city wanting to rent it. The city doesn't
Yeah.
seem like they're.
Yeah, we thought
Then-
the city was going to do it.
And they might still,
pay for
yeah.
it.
They might, we
And
don't
if
know.
they do, that's still great, but if
Yeah.
they don't, that space,
We can move forward.
we can move forward with we had even talked about more Airbnb-ish, but Sam mentioned
There's a
the other day,
moratorium. We can't do it.
I love the idea about long-term rental. I mean, that's
Yeah.
income that helps pay for the renovation of what we have to do. I mean, return on investment is there for that.
There's
What a
bound to-
cool
there's-
space that would be for a
Would
place
be
that
nice.
doesn't
Well,
have
there's,
rental.
especially a private business of some sort that's, just like when you look at parks all over the country that have businesses that lease property on site that are,
Well,
whether
the only
it's.
issue is it's zoned residential, which is why we can't do it like a nightly rents
Oh,
too.
It's zone
Really?
residential? Are we
when it, right
positive?
next door is the Parks office.
Because the parks office is obviously not residential.
Right.
And the park
I've
is
asked.
not residential.
I think we are in a residential zone, but
Well, some
I've
things,
asked.
some things are allowed in residential zones. Not, I mean, like, is it R1 or whatever it is?
but
I
that's
don't
why
know.
we couldn't do another nightly rental because it has to be private. There's a moratorium on turning residential zones into nightly rentals.
which I totally support.
Oh, yeah, that's
So,
fine. I just-
So
yeah.
yes, that's a no-brainer then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that, you know, if Eureka needs anything, it's long-term rentals.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we need it.
Mm-hmm.
We can get enough money because it would be 2 bedrooms, right?
Yeah.
Would it
Yeah.
be up and down, or would you have one?
No, we'd actually knock the staircase out that connects the 2 floors, and then so it'd be completely its own thing.
So there'd be
So
one
2
on
units?
top, one on
There'd be 2
bottom.
bedrooms, 2 bed, 1 bath upstairs, and then the bottom we'd keep for ourselves for the
That's our
workshop.
storage.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
Storage and stuff.
Okay, and that's
So-
where the files are now.
The files are upstairs now,
You're right.
but
Okay, so
I
we
mean,
need to clear those
temporarily.
out.
but there's a lot of stuff upstairs.
Okay.
So
It'll
two
eventually
bedroom.
come
And this
out.
is a long time away. I mean, this is not
That's
going to happen
Long time
tomorrow,
away.
but-
I mean, it's
there's
not,
pl- and
it
there's
might not be
plenty
that
of-
long. I mean,
Well, there's plenty of resources out there to look. I started looking when we talked about this. There's so many different ways to do this, whether you're renting to a person, a business, not necessarily a business, another government agency.
Yeah.
So the government agencies, why, I want the Department
Which
of
seems
Parks and
like it
Tourism.
would just be a perfect.
Oh, I wish the state would
scenario.
come in and rent from us, a little Department of Parks and Tourism office or something like that,
No.
and our site, that'd be cool. Things like that. There's all sorts of things that could work there that have
Yeah.
been done. We don't have to reinvent that wheel. It's been done a lot by other people, so.
I know
Especially
what-
if they offered free digital archiving services.
With AI.
Maybe the archiving, I mean, just the idea that that building is not going to continue to just rot.
Right.
That has to be done. We've got to fix that building.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's
It
that,
looks
Ron?
like we are, because there's a dumpster out there and they're throwing all the trash in
Yeah,
there.
they are,
They're
but-
cleaning up. I've seen guys working on it as I drive by every
Yeah,
day.
and just
Yeah, it looks
FYI, I
good.
mean, we talk about this being far in the future, but in tomorrow's paper, The Independent, is an ad for, because we have to put it out to public notice for bids from contractors. We want bids from contractors to renovate the building according to the floor plan that the mayor made for us.
Okay.
So, once we get those bids in, they're gonna look at the numbers, see if that's something they wanna digest, and if it's not,
Okay.
maybe we'll just say we're going to do it because we can't just let it sit there. I mean,
Right.
we're kind of in a
Yeah.
bind, really. I mean, our hands are sort of tied.
We just have to wait and see what they say. And then
Yeah.
after that, but that won't be too long, really.
No, it's in the budget.
How long is the RFP time period? 2 weeks or?
Two
a month or-
consecutive weeks, so 14 days. Yeah.
Of course, it is kind of possibly the worst time ever to put out.
Yeah, this
bids,
time of
like
year.
over
Yeah.
the holidays.
Oh,
Turn it in on Christmas.
But no, hey, nevertheless, I like the idea of this.
Oh, I do too.
And we're checking with the municipal league just to make sure it's even legal for us to rent long term. But that's why we're not voting on it because we're not even sure.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it is.
It is a
but-
good idea. If we can
Use
make
it.
it work,
Yeah.
we should.
We have assets, we should utilize them.
Yes.
It's,
I agree.
yeah, we should not let them sit and not be utilized.
Okay. Is that all for new business? Unless anyone has any other questions about the Harmon building? That building needs a name. I call it the old CDC building.
Yeah, we call
Or
it the Eureka Kids, building.
either
I
one.
like the Harmon
That's all,
building.
that's because those things were both in there, but that building
Harmon
needs a name.
building?
I call it another name, but I won't say it.
Well,
That'd be-
because there's the office is the office building. It's, to me, it's the Harmon Park office building, but it needs its own name, I think.
Yeah.
The annex,
annex.
Annex.
I was
Yeah.
thinking
The
annex.
Harmon
Harmon
Annex.
Annex.
Please annex
which is
that
bigger
building.
than the Harmon Park building.
And still, I'll probably still call it the Eureka Kids building and the old CDC building, but that's
Well, speaking of that, just FYI, we should have the concrete walls report on the sides. Those should be cured and ready, and we're going to backfill it. You know, hopefully we'll have the gutters up and the backfill and all that done by New Year's. So,
nice. Be safe.
Yeah.
To have that area filled in and not be
yeah.
open.
When was it poured?
Well, anyway, yeah, they finished today.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, we need to do commissioner comments and approve minutes. Let's see. Where are they?
I didn't see any.
You didn't see them?
They've been in the folder, Mark.
I don't
I
want
think
to
they're in the
look at my
Dropbox.
phone. Give me a copy.
From November 21st? You want to look at this picture?
Yeah, I
They're
would like
pretty
to-
detailed, so, I mean,
While y'all discuss them, we got to do our comments.
We can start our comments. Krista, you want to start with your comments? No comments? Jonathan?
Thank you for taking the time to be our chair for 2
welcome.
years.
Thank you for coming back to be a commissioner. I'm glad you did. You do a good job.
That's all.
Well, should we skip Mark so you can study?
No, I'm good. I do remember this actually. So,
Okay.
yes, a big thank you to Ruth. I don't know what we'd have done the last 2 years. Ruth was in here. We've had a few transitions, a few things going on. Thank you for being here and doing
Okay.
that. It's been amazing, and I don't know how we can even, all of us newbies we're learning from you. And I want to say that the Parks Department and the Christmas lights this year, you guys,
Yes, bravo.
Yes.
did an amazing job. I've heard lots of people say it, just random people.
Yeah, it looks great.
Each year just it's getting better. So great job for the Parks Department, and that's all.
Yeah, it looks
Yes.
good.
I agree. And it's been, I shouldn't say this. It has been one of the best years of being a chair, being a commissioner this last year, serving with us. It's just been a great, having Sam, having this group, there's just been a good synergy, everything. It's been fun being chair. That isn't always true, is it? It has been. So thanks to all of you.
all the
done.
sweets and
Selling the
cookies
job.
and cakes.
That's it. Thank you, Katie. It's all because of you.
Snacks.
Okay, Rod, anything?
I just want to say that I really do appreciate your leadership.
Thank you.
That I've only been on the board for a year, commission, and so I feel very strong about our future, and I feel very strong with Sam being our director. So I'm going to miss having you but I'm glad you'll still be on the commission. So we'll be like fellow commissioners, so
Yes.
that's great.
It'll be fun.
Thank you. Thank you for
You're
everything.
welcome. Thank you. Okay. Anything else you need to say today, Sam? You done?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Or, well, it's the last meeting of the year, so thanks to all of you for
You're welcome.
always being 99% present.
You're welcome.
You miss the occasional meeting, as we all do, but
And
it's
Beth's
nice to
not
always
here.
have quorum. It's pretty embarrassing when you don't have quorum.
We've
so.
had this has been
We've
a
had
good
a
group
good
for
quorum,
Yeah.
good
most of the
quorum group.
time.
I mean,
It's been
we've
a really
managed
good
it
group.
more so than,
I don't know that we've ever not had one.
no, we've done a really good job
No, I
of it.
thought, since I've been back,
I
I don't
appreciate
think
that.
we've missed one.
Over the years, there have been times it's been very difficult to maintain quorum. This has been,
Yeah,
again, see, good
Helps
group.
to have Zoom also.
that's true.
That's true, we had Zoom.
Worst case scenario.
And Beth missed out on cake tonight. See, even the cake didn't bring Beth in.
She doesn't
We
eat
knew.
sweet stuff.
I know, so she didn't eat it anyway, so we're good.
Anyway, yeah, just thanks
I
to
appreciate
all of
Beth,
you
too.
for being the commission. I know it's a pretty thankless job. I've done it myself. So thank you for doing it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I think the thanks is when you see the lights on the streets and you see the new flowers when they pop in, and that's the thanks that we get. It's okay for me.
It is. And
The
I have
lights do help.
And I have the advantage, well, you do too, when you work with the public a lot,
Yes.
I get the feedback because you see it at
the
work, and I do too,
hotel,
at the hotel
yeah.
and the Sparky's. We get the feedback. You see the people, the unsolicited comments about how things look nice and how and people don't know I'm a commissioner, and they're just telling me how nice it looks and say, oh, thank you. And they say, why are you saying thank you? Well, I'm sorry. I'm back. But it's good to hear all the comments and all the positive stuff.
It's really good thing that when you have guests coming in from the hotel from other cities and other states and stuff, and then they tell you that, oh, I want to go on a trail hike, I get to grab the map real quick and I open it up and I say, look, these are the ones that it makes me have so much pride.
I'm a commissioner.
Yeah, well,
Well, no.
I don't brag about that, but
I don't either.
it's just
I don't
that
understand.
it makes you feel really good knowing that people ask about those things.
You do, and that I mean, it's just, I'm grateful for it. I get to hear it every single day at work, all day long, over and over again.
I do too.
How much they love the decorations, how much they love the parks,
The lake,
all the lake,
black bass, you hear a lot about black
the
bass.
marina.
And
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah, black
amazing.
bass. A lot of
how many
comments lately about
people-
black bass and the improvements out there.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Good.
I think we do a great job.
Yeah, their staff too. Okay, are we ready to make a motion for the minutes? Anybody?
I make a motion, we move to approve the minutes.
It's Rod, do you have a second?
Second.
It's Carissa. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. The regular minutes from the November 21st, 2023 meeting are approved. And any other announcements or things anybody needs to say here? Rod has a party to go to.
Yeah, I moved to adjourn.
Thank you. Mark, have a second?
I second.
Jonathan, Chris, everybody. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Happy holidays,
4-0.
everyone.
Happy
Happy
holidays. We are adjourned. It is.
Someone sign those minutes and
I
then
will
give
sign
them
them.
to me.
7:10 p.m.
My good folder was
I don't
not
have one
available.
with me.
You get-
I mean, I literally
My whole-
ran from
But
the
I don't let anybody touch
from the
that.
cabin to get here.
This is